Shalom Akayam Akawatayam. I want to read the Testament of Reuben. I'm just going to jump right into it. The Testament of Reuben. Chapter 1, verse 1. The copy of the Testament of Reuben, even the commands which he gave his sons before he died in the 125th year of his life. 2 years after the death of Joseph his brother, when Reuben fell ill, his sons and his sons' sons were gathered together to visit him. And he said to them, My children, behold, I am dying, and go the way of my fathers. And seeing there Judah and Gad and Asher his brethren, he said unto them, Rise me up, that I may tell to my brethren and to my children what things I have hidden in my heart. For behold, now at length I am passing away. So you're gonna say, man, I've been holding I've had some secrets or some understanding in my heart that I've been holding, I guess, for this time. Verse 5. And he arose and kissed them, and said unto them, Hear, my brethren, and do ye, my children, I give ear to Reuben your father, in the commands which I give unto you. And behold, I call to witness against you this day the God of heaven. So he calls the Most High to witness this conversation, that ye walk not in the sins of youth and fornication, wherein I was poured out, and defiled the bed of my father Jacob. And I tell you that he smote me with a sore plague in my loins for 7 months. And had not my father Jacob prayed for me to the Lord would have destroyed me. So he said he was plagued for 7 months in his area, in his privacy area, for 7 months, because he used his privacy area to commit a sin. So that the place where he used to commit a sin was plagued. This is through fornication. This is why he's telling us to stay away from fornication. See, he's giving an experience. He said, yeah, man, I had that stuff, man. She gave me that, well, the Most High gave me that package. You feel what I'm saying? And, you know, from messing with this woman, she didn't receive the package. I don't believe she received the same plague I had, and we did the thing. But he gave him that thing in that area, that plague in that area, from fornication. So whatever you use to sin may get punished. Verse 8. For I was 30 years old when I wrought the evil thing before the Lord, and for 7 months I was sick unto death. So he was in basically great pain. You know what I'm saying? He was in great pain from that situation. I believe because he knew it was his father's woman, and he could understand the relationship between man and woman. And it says this, and after this I repented with set purpose of my soul for 7 years before the Lord. And wine and strong drink I drank not, and flesh entered not into my mouth, and I ate no pleasant food. But I mourned over my sin, for it was great, such as had not been in Israel. He said, man, I did a bad sin. Yeah, and it's like he did some kind of fast. He was eating. It would seem he was eating bitter food. Because he said for 7 years. I don't know who fasted for 7 years. Reuben would have been extremely blessed to fast for 7 years. And it says, verse 11. And now hear me, my children, what things I saw concerning the spirits of deceit when I repented. Talking about them devils out here. We got them devils out here. And so the 7 spirits, therefore, are appointed against man, and they are the leaders in the works of his youth. And 7 other spirits are given to him at his creation, that through them should be done every work of man. The first is the spirit of life, with which the constitution of man is created. The second is the sense of sight, which arises desire, with which ariseth desire. The third is the sense of hearing, with which cometh teaching. The fourth is the sense of smell, with which tastes are given to draw air and breath. The fifth is the power of speech, with which cometh knowledge. The sixth is the sense of taste, with which cometh the eating of meats and drinks, and by its strength is produced. For in food is the foundation of strength. The seventh is the power of procreation and sexual intercourse, with which through love of pleasure sins enter in. Fornication. Verse 21. Wherefore it is the last in order of creation, and the first in that of youth, because it is filled with ignorance, and leadeth the youth as a blind man to a pit, and as a beast to precipice. It probably would have been a different word, probably. I probably have to look up that word. Let's look it up now, if it's a real word. Excuse me, I just have to look this up real quick. Excuse me. Alright. It's a real word. It's a real word. Beast to the pit. It's the same thing as a pit. It said, besides all these, there is an eighth spirit of sleep, with which is brought about the trance of nature, and of death. The trance of death. With these spirits are mingled the spirits of error. First, so once you get those spirits, other spirits come like, this is good, but here's the evil side. You feel what I'm saying? If for every good, it seems like you got an evil. It says, first, the spirit of fornication is seated in the nature and in the senses. The second, the spirit of insatiableness in the belly, like greedy. The third, the spirit of fighting in the liver and gall. This says this where the spirits be in the body, it seems. If these spirits in you, this is there in these parts of the body, is what it seems like it's saying. The fourth is the spirit of obsequiousness. Let's look up what this is. Let's look up what this is. Is this a real word? It don't even look like it's a real word. Let's take the ness off the end. Dang. I don't know what the word means. And chicanery. Let's see if we can understand through context clues. That through officious attention, one may be fair in seeming. So I believe that's deception. I believe the spirit of deception. Because one may be fair in seeming. You may think this, but he's something else. So I would believe that's deception. Verse 28. The fifth is the spirit of pride, that one may be boastful and arrogant. The sixth is the spirit of lying, in perdition and jealousy, to practice deceits and concealments from kindred and friends. The seventh is the spirit of injustice, with which are thefts and acts of rapacity. Let's look up what rapacity is. Rapacity. Gluttony. Audacity. Of gluttony, or wanting more than what you have, that a man may fulfill the desire of his heart, For injustice worketh together with the other spirits by the taking of gifts. So these evil spirits can work with each other, it seems. These are spirits. And with all these the spirit of sleep is joined, which is that of error and fantasy. And with all these the spirit of sleep is joined, which is that of error and fantasy. It says error and fantasy. So people with lust in dreams, like if you had a dream, you know, a lot of men probably had sex dreams in them. Dreams where they having sex in the night. Oh, they're not really having the sex, but it's in the dream. But it's an error because it's like fornication. I don't know if he thinking it was like his wife or something. It's probably somebody he don't even know. You know what I'm saying? But it's fulfilling some kind of fantasy. The devil's probably knew these spirits probably knew he liked. You know, we know he liked this type of stuff. Let's bring him this in his dream. In a sense, if the spirits really communicated with each other like that inside your body, you know. Remember there was 70 demons in that man who Christ cast him into the pigs. Verse 32. And so perisheth every young man, darkening his mind from the truth, and not understanding the law of God, nor obeying the admonitions of his fathers, as befell me also in my youth. And now, my children, love the truth, and it will preserve you. Hear ye the words of Reuben your father. Pay no heed to the face of a woman, nor associate with another man's wife, nor meddle with the affairs of womankind. For I had not seen Bilhah bathing in an for had I not seen Bilhah bathing in a covered place, I had not fallen into this great iniquity. For my mind, taking in the thought of the woman's nakedness, suffered me not to sleep until I had wrought the abominable thing. And for a while Jacob our father had gone to Isaac his father, when we were in Edar near Ephrath in Bethlehem, Bilhah became drunk and was asleep uncovered in her chamber. Having therefore gone in and behold her nakedness, I wrought the impiety without her perceiving it, and leaving her sleeping departed. And forthwith an angel of God revealed to my father concerning my impiety, and he came and mourned over me and touched her no more. Okay. I read another story where it says when Reuben did this act. Let's say Reuben did this thing, but it says she caught him in the morning and knew that it was Reuben, and she was screaming. Which book was that? Which book was it? Either like Chapter? Y'all brothers may know what I'm talking about, but this is like that's two different counts, like the Cain death situation. House falling on him. Did the house fall on him because he killed him with a stone, or did Lamech kill him? I'm rolling with the Lamech. You know, I'm rolling with the Lamech. Unless, you know, he shot him down. They thought he was dead. When he went home and the house fell in. But it say, but I don't know, cause you know, there's two different things. One of them, I guess, there's something true. There's some truth about Cain's death, cause I don't believe Cain is alive on this earth. So there's a truth about Cain's death, but is these the truth? So I'm leaning towards the Lamech. Because Lamech was like, if Cain gets 7, it's like he spoke of Cain. So I believe Lamech had something to do with Cain's death. Why would the situation of speaking of Cain? And then they talking about he killed Cain. Like he killed him. I believe it's Jasher. Well, Jasher said Lamech killed him. And I believe Jubilees said the house fell. You'd be like, hallelujah, you know, just something to think about. But it doesn't really lead to salvation. It just finds out who lied to you. Salvation is Yahshua, Hamashiach, Hallelujah.